And welcome back now. South Africa is hosting its second South Africa Investment Conference 2019. The three-day conference will provide a platform to showcase new investment opportunities in the country. And it comes amid high unemployment and slow economic growth. Let's cross now to SABC News reporter Liabo Setho, who is at the conference center in Sandton. Over to you, Liabo.
Good morning, Sakina. Yes, we're coming from the Sandton Convention Center, where the second annual investment conference will be taking place. We saw just last night the welcome reception happening at Summer Place, where all the delegates were really mingling and trying to get each other and to know each other ahead of this conference. This is an important conference, Sakina, as you may imagine, that South Africa is trying to garner investment into the country. And as we say, that it is the second investment conference that we are hosting, which means that the first one happened last year. And if you want to know what sort of progress has been made, you'll be happy to know that at least 300 billion of the 1.25 trillion has been collected, which is about 12% in its first year. Amazing. This is absolutely amazing. And we'll have a couple of companies who will be coming to join South African government in trying to really find out what it is in for them when they come to South Africa to invest here. Of course, South Africa urgently needing this investment, particularly when you look at our economic situation. You'll know that we are in desperate need of jobs. And some investment into the country will be welcomed. Sakina, I wanted to show you this is going to be our home for today, because tomorrow the conference actually moves to Soweto at UJ campus, where innovation, entrepreneurship and startups are going to be the topic rather. So I just thought that I would show you the studio that we will be coming from. We'll have all the delegates that will be interviewing in this very studio. You know that South Africa is, or the South African Broadcasting Corporation, the SABC, we are the host broadcasters of the second annual investment conference. And I've been walking around here, Sakina, and I'm seeing that we've got a lot of meeting rooms. We've got Anglo-American meeting room, the NASPERS meeting room, the Vodacom, IDC, Invest SA, and I see Minister Patel, who's the Minister of DTI, who is going to be making a speech, I presume. If you wanted to know, Sakina, also what the program looks like, I know that at around 8:35 we'll be having the President Cyril Ramaphosa making his speech, where he'll be welcoming all the delegates into South Africa. As I said earlier on, our target obviously is about 1.25 trillion. And so far, we have collected about 300 billion rand in the inaugural of this investment conference. And we have asked the head of investment and infrastructure at the presidency, Dr. Hosienzo Ramokgopa, to join us to let us know, what his plans. He's newly appointed. I'm sure you may have seen that, and we'll find out from him what his role becomes. Dr. Ramokgopa, thank you so much for making time to speak to us at the SABC. Congratulations, first of all, on your appointment. Tell us what exactly is going to be your role.
Well, good morning to you and good morning to the viewers. Well, as you have mentioned, I think the President has made a commitment to say we want to attract about 1.2 trillion rands into the country. And from the first installment of this conference in the last year, a commitment of 300 million has been made. So what the office will do is to ensure that we move from commitments to actual projects. So we have seen the Mara project has taken foot. We know we have seen the Ford One investment, the SEZ, but we need to track all other commitments. So it is important that we are able to develop a tracking mechanism. And on a full-time basis, we are able to engage those who have made commitments on a public platform to say, yes, we have made these commitments. Where are the projects going to take place? You are likely going to find out that there are bottlenecks, regulatory bottlenecks, issues around EIAs, water use licenses, township establishment. So we are meant to unlock that together with the respective spheres of government, water use licenses, national government, EIAs, provincial government, township establishment, local governments, and also bulk infrastructure. So that's the kind of interventions that we'll be making. So that when the next installment comes, the president is able to give you a balance sheet of where we are, and if there are new commitments, say what these commitments are. Obviously, the individual entities will make those commitments, and then we continue to track. And then outside the investment conference, we'll be going outside the country, looking for people to come and invest in the area, in the identified priority sectors of the country, so that we are able to grow the economy, and more substantially, we are able to create employment opportunities.
Dr. Mkhopa, a lot of critics have talked about what is going against South Africa when you talk about, for instance, policy implementation, when you talk about the economic challenges, particularly when you look at our growth projection. We are projected not to grow by even 1%, but by 0.5%. We have high unemployment rate. How do you convince an investor that this is still an investable country with such economic turmoil happening in the country?
Well, it's a fair criticism. So there are serious headwinds. The fiscal space is limited, but we know that if you look at the indices that measure some of the significant components of the economy. So the first one is around the issues of the ease of doing business. It looks at about 10 different areas. Yes, we are ranking about 82 out of 190 countries. The only two African countries that are ahead of us is Rwanda and Kenya. So we really want to, in the first instance, be the best performance on the continent, and then going forward, be in the same category as some of the leading economies in the world. So about ease of doing business. So that talks about the regulatory environment, the ability to protect minority shareholders, the rule of law, how you are able to register a business, register a property, get your utilities registered. So yes, that's something that we're improving on, and it's something that requires our collective attention going forward. But I think that from a leadership point of view, the president has been very resolute in terms of where we're taking the country to. So we're also looking at issues around leadership. So he's been providing leadership at that level, ensuring that indeed we're admitting to our shortcomings, and we're able to articulate some of the interventions that we'll be making going forward. So we're a bit buoyant going forward. Yes, there are headwinds, but I think we're going to go through this phase, yes.
Dr. Mkhopa, I'm afraid we are out of time for now, but thank you so much for giving us that update about what we are doing to attract investment as a country. And it's back to the studio, and with that, I'll hand over to Valen with sports.